So we're holding Parshas Korach, and I'm gonna try and say something that's a little bit of a chiddush, something that was cooking this week. But we'll try to connect it also to last week because I hold it's a mitzvah. We said a big word last week that Parshas Shlach. We said that the toes of the Meraglim, it was the Rishonim Rov V'lo Lakchu Musar. We said a pshat. We said that they learned up, like the Kal V'chomer in the Gemara, that Eitzim V'Avanim, Avada, it's different than people. But L'maisa, it's not brought down in Chazal like that. Nowhere, do we have that they actually had a taina. The Tvi on them was Rov V'lo Lakchu Musar. Rov V'lo Lakchu Musar. They could have made the Tzushtel and they didn't. Why they didn't do it, we said a vort last week. But we know that they didn't make the Tzushtel to Miriam. That they didn't do. And I think it's very good, it works out very good, the Hemsheichias. We have now a Smichas HaParshias, because the end of Parshas Shlach ends off with the Parsha of Tzitzis. And I thought it was a Rashi, but it doesn't look like it's a Rashi. I guess it's just one of those famous Chazalim, a Gemara or a Medrash. But we know that the Tchelis is doime leyam, v'yam is doime l'rekia, and rekia is doime l'kis hakovet, right? Goes in stages, right? And again, dimyan, make a tushtel. We're making a tushtel to this, and then that makes a tushtel to that, and then we get to the kis hakovet. That was how Klal Yisrael was supposed to learn up tzitzis. Korach, l'chura didn't make the tushtel. L'chura. He just learned it up like dry bones, dry din. You need chelis to patter up the tzitzis. And what was Korach's whole taina? What was Korach's whole talishakul chelis? Does it need? L'chayra, he didn't make a Torah from chelis to begin with. So that's why he was trachting like that. I guess similar to what we said by Tinik HaBerech and Beis HaSefer. Maisi, a guy wants to, grow and steig and learn up. If you're not going to make, the tzushtal that the Torah wants you to make, the yam that's why it goes in stages, by the way. I heard a kasha once. Why all these stages? Why does it have to be done? Just say, why go there? Because that's the asik of the mind. The human mind likes to do that. It goes one day and more and weiter and bigger and this. It wants to see more. So it goes in stages, right? Korach totally missed it, right? But so you have to, so he was trachting that thing. He says if one little tcheles is pattering the whole, so talishakul tcheles, the whole thing would be patter. Whatever, he made a logical cheshbon. But he missed the boat completely. If the tcheles was occupied by this amazing thought, there wouldn't be room to have a Korach Hakira like this. Yeah? The sugya is learned up to it. It's learned up to it. You did it. You got, every time you see it, you see something. You have a kisei covered in front of you. There's no room to think like this. It's a kruma thought. It's a thought of boredom. There's nothing here. So, if one tchel is part of the whole, that episa machshava ulai, just a hemshech smichas haparshas. But there's more. There's a big thing going on here, and it was, I put the two and two together from this limud in Pirkei Avos that we're learning with Hachzik. In Mishnah Beis, Perek Beis, Mishnah Beis. This is a very interesting thing. I want to make a tzushtel. I don't know if anybody makes a tzushtel. Rabbi Yisrael himself does not make the tzushtel, but I'm going to try. What was the whole era of Korach? On the Kahuna, right? He's from Shevet Levi. He's doing the Avodas Beis HaMikdash, right? He's part of the whole matzav. I think you can say that he falls into the category of what? Of Oiskim B'tzorchei Tzibur. Yeah? Taking up and putting down the Mishkan, traveling, right? The Kahuna B'chlal is Ein Lecha Tzorchei Tzibur Gadol Mizeh. What does the Mishnah say? And we know Korach's downfall was the Kinnah. There was a negiah. So look at this. Look at this. This is Heilige Gereit over here. The Mishnah says in Ovis, and Rabbi Yisrael makes a fascinating diak over here. V'chol ha'melim im hatzibur, you ha'melim imohem l'shem shomayim. You have to be omel l'shem shomayim. So, do we have, let's say, the loophole of mitoch shaloi l'shma ba l'shma by tzarchei tzibur? Huh? By Torah, mitzvahs, all of Taryag. Chazal say, lo'elam yasikon b'Torah b'mitzvahs, shaloi lishma, shemitoch shaloi lishma ba lishma. Do we have that by the oiskim b'tzarchei tzibur? So the emes is that Rabbi Yisrael himself in Michtav Chavtes makes the diuk, and he says that mitoch shaloi lishma ba lishma, but with a stipulation. But the Alter from Kelm, this is like, this is just just for fun, just to poke fun. We have to, big people, Rav Leuchter sort of touches on the issue, but it doesn't really explain it. The Alter from Kelm brings Admor, Moiriv Rabbi Admor, that a diuk mamish fakert, with a raya from a Tosfos in Rosh Hashanah, that by amelim imatzibur there is no ptur of mitoch shaloi l'shma ba l'shma. It has to be mamish l'shem shamayim, because if it's going to be shaloi l'shem shamayim, it will zicher end up as a kilkul for the person and for the tzibur itself. But Rabbi Yisrael Salanter in Michtav Chavtes himself does make a deal. He says like this: Loi amra Mishnah yeh kavonosim l'shem shamayim. The Mishnah is not saying that the kavan has to be l'shem shamayim. It has to be l'shem shamayim. That's his diuk, and that and he throws in over here. He says that diuk. And how do you put the two Rabbi Yisraels together? That is not my issue, but it's worthwhile to mention that it is found in Chachma Musar Chelik Aleph Reish Mem Beis. You can look at it. But either way, what does it mean shemitoch shaloi l'shma ba l'shma by inyonei tzibur? Okay, this is a very important sugya, because I realized this week that it's very, very nageya. Very nageya, me at least. I failed to realize that, and it's a problem when you fail to realize it. I'm saying, look what happened. If Korach is a oisek b'tzarchei tzibur be'emunah, he's the biggest rebbe in this sugya, because he was the biggest failure. Okay, this is big problems going on over here. Okay, so how does it work? Mitoch shaloi l'shma ba l'shma in yonei tzibur. Bekitzer, it's you can't trick yourself and think that you are doing it l'shem shemaim, even when you have a geschmack in it. Sometimes in certain mitzvahs, let's say he brings an example from Lulav, right? Everybody likes to have a nice esrog, and you'll pay money for a nice esrog. Okay, but in Eretz Yisrael, there's a way to do it, b'tashlumim, And some of the places over there have a big problem when you buy an esrog at tashlumim. It's not l'ches felten lachem. You didn't buy it yet, right? So even though you have a big cheshek to do a lulav, but if it's going to affect the halachas of lachem, so then it is not the mitzvah, right? That's pashut. So same idea here with shaloi l'shma by inyonei tzibur. It has to be that you are following gidrei halacha, the das v'halacha of gidrei tzibur. You have to follow that to the T, even if you are shaloi l'shma. But the trick is that you have to know that you're shaloi l'shma. You have to know that you have a negiah. Korach possibly was not aware of his negiah. We know that. He wasn't aware of his negiah because he was doing Avodas HaKodesh. Like this. Normal youth, we think, Pshat in mitoch shaloi l'shma ba l'shma means, let me be oisik in the mitzvah, and if I'm going to be oisik in the mitzvah forever and ever, for a long time, the asik of the mitzvah will turn it into, kilu magically, into a lishma. That is not the pshat. The lashon of Chazal is mashma not like that. It's not Lo'olam yasek adam b'Torah u'b'mitzvah she'esek hatmidi yavi oisei lelishma. It doesn't say that. It says lo'olam yasek adam b'Torah u'b'mitzvah she'lo lishma, she'mitoich she'lo lishma, not mitoich esek hamitzvah tmidi, but mitoich she'lo lishma balishma. Meaning, you always have to recognize that there is a negiah from the beginning. Even if you're out to get. I have to, tell it to you in a mashal, because it's hard to understand this concept. If you're raising money, right, and you become friendly with a gvir, okay, and you learn with him, and he's a brilliant guy, and you're nispal from him, and he's even a bal musa, and he's murdered, right? You have to know clearly in your heart, even bepeh, tell it to yourself like, bepeh. All you're interested in is in that guy's money. Lamaisa, all I'm interested in is the money. That's what I'm doing. Don't trick yourself and say, he's a murdedik guy, and he's taka a gevaldika balmidis, and a big lamdan and a learner. It could be. But tell yourself that you are mushchis in a certain sense in this area. Remind yourself constantly that you have that problem, because if you're going to forget that you have this negiah, you will continue doing this mitzvah, and you will continue building a kesher with this person, and it will erupt. It will end up in a kilkul. It will, okay? Either the friendship will end in a nasty way. It will end up in a kilkul. Be honest with the person, with yourself. Be honest. Right? Know that you have a negiah. Know that you are serving the kahuna and you are doing the avodah. You're trying to be the best of the best because you want to take over. Lamaisi, you want to take over. You want to take over. Why are you the guy that's always first in line and you're doing the avodah so well in the base and because Lamaisi, you want to, right? You want to take over Aaron HaKohen. You want to take over Moshe Rabbeinu. And if you don't tell that to yourself, it will come out in a nasty way, like it did in this week's parasha. I mean, it came out in a nasty way where he was able to convince 250 Rosh Hashanah, and the whole thing came out. Big stink in Klal Yisrael. This is a big episode in our history. And it all happened because he was not aware of his negiah. When you are oisik b'tzarchei tzibur, you have to be, mitach shelo l'shmo, you have to be aware of the negiah and do it anyway and follow the halachas of. Right? He says, Kedasu halacha. Whatever das and halacha is in Inyonei Tzibur, you have to be shal eitza. I don't know exactly how to define that myself, which is a little bit of an issue. But follow the Gidrei halacha and know that you have a negiah. From the beginning that you have a negiah. I could give you other examples. But the example that I want to say over, I can't believe this is on a recording. I was listening to the recording of Michtav Chavtes Aleph, you could listen to it. But he was speaking to, I don't know who he was speaking to, Rav Leuchter, and he asked, is there any Jungalite in the room? And he kicked them out of the room. And it seemed like somebody walked into the base medrash, and he immediately, Zeh shiur prati, na latzet, please go out. So I can't really share that example with you now. But there are other examples of this where the negiah will erupt and end up in a kilkul dikaway, in a very bad kilkul dikaway. Okay? Very serious business over here. Be aware of the negiah. Tell yourself, I'm fully nagua. Fully. I am nagua. If it's inyane, I don't know how to say it. Whatever. All inyanim. Money is a very easy example to talk about. There are other examples where we are oisek b'tzarchi covet. I'm giving a share. I want to be a rabbi. I see you want covet. It's all that. Be aware of the negiah. You want covet, and go and do it because you want the covet anyway. But follow the halachas. Don't be pirate together. And this not being pirate together, Rabbi Yisrael Salanta says, will be mirashel. It will weaken the negiah, and ultimately one day you will reach l'shem shamayim. Okay? And Korach wasn't aware, and that was his end. And that's our end for today. Okay?